morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us all here today. Today's Shiur should be Le'ilu Nishmas, our dear friend Menachem ben Yisrael Yaakov, as well as my dear aunt Rivka Bas Gavriel Tzvi, and for our lovely Dovidal's grandfather Reb Shmuel ben Yosef Dov HaKohen, and as well as L'Refuah Shalema B'Karov Meshalem ben Sarah Rachel, Miriam Basara, and today we have a special Refuah Shalema to a young boy in Toms River where we live who was unfortunately hit by a car this morning, and he's in critical condition and he needs a lot of Rachmei Shemaim. His name is Yair Yershia ben Chaya Etra. And with that, I just want to say something. You know, we start realizing a lot of things in our lives, and we start realizing what we spoke about Sameach B'Chalko as being our gauge for wealth. And in the past, every time I've heard of a tragedy or something bad that happened to someone that I don't know, I might feel bad. But this morning when I heard about the news, I actually cried. And Duval asked me, why are you crying? You don't even know the guy. So I said, because it comes to put in perspective what we have and how easy it is to lose the most precious things in our lives. And when somebody asks you from now on, what is the most expensive thing you own? You have to say, my most valuable assets in my life are what you have is your family, your health, your well-being, your peace of mind. That's really what the gauge of wealth is. And so when I cried this morning, I felt because I also have young children of that same age. And I would never, Chas Hashem, ever want to put through a test like that. And I think today I feel more in understanding what it means for someone to be in a situation like that. And not that I can say, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I don't have that kind of problem. But no, to feel bad for someone like that, to the point where you cry because you understand today a whole lot more what these things mean, that this is your actual true wealth. And then when you hear stories about people losing money, you don't cry about it. You never have and most likely never will. But when you start realizing the truth in life, and even if you hear about a stranger who has a child that got hurt, it really hurts you inside. Really, really in your heart you feel that. And I know that each one of us on the Shiur is in that same realm, and they start feeling like that as well. And I think you start realizing how much you've internalized Bitachon when you start having these different types of feelings about life and about perspective of it. Now, we are on page 81 for those who are following along, and we are working on the second of the 5 principles of having complete Bitachon in Hashem. And Rav Av began this chapter, this parak, by saying that there are 5 fundamental principles that a person must internalize. We use this word internalize. I should make a t-shirt that says internalize on it before he gains complete trust in Hashem. And so now he proceeds to teach the second of these 5 principles. And he gets like this. V'hagdamas hashenis. The second fundamental principle of Bitachon is sheyeda v'yizbareh etzlei ki haborei yizbarech mashkif alav. That a person must clearly know that Hashem is observing him. And nothing is hidden from Hashem, whether it's an open deed or a secret deed, whether it's an inner thoughts or his outer appearance where he says with his mouth. Hashem therefore knows whether his trust in Hashem, whether the person's trust in Hashem is with a full heart or not. What he's trying to show over here is like this. We are on a Shaar Habitachon shiur right now. We are learning Shaar Habitachon. When someone asks you, what did you learn today? You say, I learn Shaar Habitachon every morning. It's really nice that you do that, and I commend you for that. But are you internalizing it? Are you really feeling it in your heart? And we say that God doesn't like lip service. Don't walk around telling people you have Bitachon, but when you're sitting in your office, you have 0 Bitachon. Or not even not 0, but very, very little. The point of the second fundamental principle that we have to understand is that Hashem understands what you say and what you don't say. So when you say out loud, I have Bitachon, and really in your heart you don't, Hashem knows that. You have to start internalizing to the point where you really feel something like that. You have to start believing in bitachon to the point where in your heart that feeling is exactly as the way when you say it, or you're so proud to tell people, yes, I learn Shaar Habitachon every single day with a group of guys. You have to start really feeling that, not just lip service. And he says, Hashem therefore understands what's in your heart. And he says, Kasha Amar HaKosav, Hashem Yodeya Machshavos Adam Ki Yehem Ha'avel. The Pasuk says, Hashem knows the thoughts of man. And he knows that they're futile. He knows that if you're just saying it, and you don't really feel that, he understands that. V'amar, loy soichen libois hu yavin. And the one who resides in your hearts, he understands. Hashem resides in our hearts, he's saying. Hashem doesn't just reside in space where if you say something, he hears it and then he knows what your plan is. Hashem resides here, inside. He knows exactly how you're feeling. And it says over there, he says, V'amar ki atu yedatu levatcha es levav kol b'nei Adam. And he says in Malachim, it says, for you alone know the hearts of all people, is referring to Hashem, knowing not just what people speak, but he understands the feelings that people have. And once this becomes clear to one who trusts, once this understanding that you have to actually feel it becomes to this Baal B'tachon, to us all, he will realize that it's improper for him to claim with words his trust in Hashem. It's going to be improper for you. If you don't really feel it inside, you're not going to walk around anymore and start telling people, oh yes, I'm a Baal B'tachon. Why? Because you don't really feel it. And you will start telling people and be proud of the fact that you're a Baal B'tachon and that you learn every single day you're getting better, is when you really, really feel it in your heart. Without truly trusting in him, in his heart and his inner thoughts. And were he to do this, and were to be a person that gives lip service and doesn't feel it, he would be on the level of what it says over there. It says, "B'fiv u'v'svasav kibduni v'liba yirchach mimeni." With his mouth and with its lips has honored me. That people, Hashem is saying that Yidden people have honored me with their lips, but its heart has distance from me. But really, it's only lip service. Really, what's coming out of their mouth is not what they feel inside. And rather, the person who has begun to trust in Hashem will strive for more genuine bitachon, and thus will be on a complete path of reliance upon him. And so with the second one, you have to start really feeling it. You need to start internalizing it to the point where it's not just lip service. And on that, I saw a research paper, and I'm not going to go into it in length, but it talks about the concept of affirmations. And he says, what you say is what you get. And there's a famous line by John Addison. He says, you have to win your mind before you win in your life. The concept over here is, many times, the reflection of our lives is how we actually feel about ourselves. The way we carry ourselves, the way we do things. We even set limits to ourselves. Every single day we say, oh, I can do that, or I cannot do that. That's what we think in our mind. But there's a power of words. The power of words, and what I want to bring out over here is that maybe if you're struggling internalizing something, you need to start verbalizing it out loud. You need to start saying out loud those words. Say, I trust in you, Hashem. In every instance that you run into an issue, or you have a great attitude about something because something good happened to you, you should verbalize that out loud. And he says you could also write it or type it. That's the same as verbalizing it. Don't just think it in your mind. The reason is, the research has shown that we can control our minds if we verbalize things. If we don't verbalize it, then our minds controls us. Do you know who you speak to the most every single day? 70%. The research has shown that 70% of your day you speak to yourself. Whether with words or with thoughts, you are talking to yourself. You tell yourself things, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I could do this, I cannot do that. You plan out a day. 70% of your day you're speaking to yourself, not to other people. And therefore, if you're the person you're speaking to the most, as ludicrous as that sounds, but it's true if you start thinking about that, then start verbalizing it. Have a conversation with yourself. And if you have a conversation with yourself, you can reprogram your mind. My point is, start giving yourself those affirmations, saying out loud the thank you Hashems. Start saying out loud the parts where you really believe in Hashem and trust in Hashem, and it's going to help you with internalizing it. It's going to help you with feeling it in your heart. And therefore, it's going to give you an easier time with this second principle of Bitachon, of not only giving lip service to Hashem, but also to internalize and have those good feelings. And that's going to help you. It's going to reprogram you. It's going to make you feel a lot better, because if you only think about it, it's not going to change who you are. But verbalize it. It will help you change your whole perspective of life on a daily basis. And this is not just for Bitachon, this is for many things. But it's going to help you. It's going to help you get further, better, happier. Sameach b'chalko. And again, guys, remember, it's so precious, our lives. We have to remember all the amazing things that we do have. And we have to cherish those things. And when we see a parent that are nebuch suffering with the illnesses of their children, and they're getting physically or mentally hurt, we have to take that into consideration, not just to say, oh, I'm so lucky that what I have, that also, but to understand that that is what true wealth is. That Sameach B'chalko is that we have all these precious things, and that's what's precious. Not a dollar, not a diamond, not a property. Those things are important. But what we have to cherish is we have to cherish what the stuff that Hashem gives us, our health, our well-being, the happiness, the nachas that we have every single day in our life. Thank you, every one of you, for joining us here today, and I love you all.